She is seriously one of the greatest people. She's such a ray of sunshine. It's been a new sort of friendship, but every time I talk to her now, I just find myself smiling from ear to ear. She has this energy that is just insanely infectious and a quality that is no doubtedly inherited from her mother, Paige. Paige was an incredible and inspiring woman who dedicated her life to helping others. In 2014, Paige was diagnosed with ALS, and she began her crusade to spread ALS awareness and fight to find a cure while she was battling the disease herself. In 2018, Paige lost her battle, but her fight continues on through Whitney every single day. Just like her mother, Whitney has a profound passion for helping others. So please join me in welcoming an ALS advocate and just all-around amazing human being, Whitney Parkhill.
Hi, Whitney.
Hello. So good to see you.
So good to see you. I am so sorry. We were supposed to have you on so much earlier, but I was just, chatting away.
No, I have so enjoyed it, and I am definitely feeling emotional after sitting through the past couple of guests that you've had. So I'm warning you in advance if I get teary-eyed. Yes, I'm feeling all the feels today.
You know what? Me too. I already cried. I already broke the seal on that earlier when I saw Frank's picture. So, you know what? It's all in good fun. But honestly, so tell Paige was your mother who
Yes.
passed away from ALS. Tell me about Paige.
Well, I could go on for days, but the kind of overarching sentiment I would say that comes to mind when I think of my mother is the warmth, love, and care she showed to everyone around her. And she was an incredibly philanthropic woman. And that is how she lived her life, was thinking and caring for others. And so it was really of no surprise to those that loved her that when she got diagnosed, the first thing that she said was, "Help me help others." All of her friends came around and said, "How can we help you, Paige? We are here for you." And she said, "Help me help others." And so that is how Paige's ALS challenge was born. And it is really just a testament to who she is. I say is because I know she is still very much with us every single day.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you saw that. Kendra chimed up that you are one of the favorites of her family. I can see, Kendra, I see why. It took me about 5 seconds to talk to Whitney on the phone, and I decided, okay, we're new best friends. I'm keeping it forever.
Yes. And Kendra and I have become such dear friends too.
I love it. But like you said, though, that is such a testament to your mom that she can rally people together the way she did. And even in these sort of truly, honestly, the darkest moments, that you're fighting a disease that is going to win in the end, no matter how hard you fight. And to still have this sort of desire to want to give back and help other people. I mean, that seriously just blows my mind.
I would say that I always learned so much from her throughout her entire life. But I think what I learned from her in the 3.5 years that from her diagnosis to when she passed away was some of the most incredible and valuable lessons that I could learn in my entire life. And the first is that happiness is a choice, and we get up out of bed every single day and we can choose to be happy or we can choose to be miserable. And despite her condition, she woke up and chose to put a smile on her face, no matter how much she was struggling. Another thing that I really took away was her belief that what is in the past is in the past and we cannot change it. And so we need to just focus on the future. And that really helped me too, like in every sense, whether it was like a personal thing or professional thing, whatever it was, what's done is done. Let's not spend any more time or energy harping on it, but we're going to move forward and do what we can to change the future.
I love it. Advice of Paige. I love this. This is great advice because sometimes it's hard. I mean, it sounds so easy and obvious, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes to live those things. Well,
It
you
is.
brought up, you mentioned the Pages ALS challenge. So tell me a little bit about this because when we were talking, I didn't even know this fact. This was a really fun fact to learn. So basically, you hosted this event in 2015. It exceeded your wildest expectations and it led to something really incredible for our chapter. So I want you to tell us about this.
Yes. So, with my mom's help me help others message, um, this idea with all of her friends was born. We're going to have an event. Okay. So, we all start planning, and the group of friends is getting bigger and bigger. And the idea just keeps kind of exploding. And, like, next thing we all know, we're taking on this huge beast. But we still don't really know exactly what we're doing. There are some local artists and musicians in Champaign, which is where I'm from and where my mother lived most all of her life. And they were like, we want to help, we want to contribute something. Okay, so now we have musicians and artists in the mix for this event. Okay, so it's forming into be a gala event. Well, now we're going to have a live auction, we're going to have a silent auction. And as people in the community are hearing about this, they want to contribute to the auction in some way. So we're getting all of these incredible items. It turns out, well, my mother's initial goal was like, if we can raise $50,000, that would just be amazing. And all along, like all of her friends and myself are like, oh mom, we've created such a beast. Like, I think we can blow that out of the water. And we end up selling out of tickets. I think Kendra might be able to correct me, but it might have been like a 500-person event held at my family's car dealership. And we ended up raising something like $250,000 in one night with this incredible event. And so, with all of this money, was like, okay, well, we really need to get in touch with the ALS Association. Like, let's use the Chicago chapter as kind of our base. And that's really how the services came to Champaign, was with this foundational event that happened with all this money that was raised, and Paige's ALS Challenge was born.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that is such an amazing story. And that money helped so many people. So it lived out your mom's goal of help me help others. She
Mhm.
helped so many people with that money. This is insane. Yeah, I know exactly. People are chiming in 250,000. It's unreal. I
Okay,
know.
good. I'm glad Kendra's here to fact check me. That's helpful. Thank you, Kendra.
I mean, whew, you guys rock.
Yes, it
Seriously,
was
you guys.
awesome. It was an incredible, incredible event. And there was an amazing videographer that captured the
Mhm.
whole night. And I still get chills when I go back and watch that. And the love and the support that was felt that night was, yeah, I have chills now, even just talking about it. And it
Oh my
wasn't
gosh.
just love for my mom that night. It was our entire family. It was the ALS community. It was everyone in the Champaign-Urbana area. And we had many friends fly in from all over the country as well to support it. They just want to help, and they want to help make the world a better place. And when you are, backed into a corner where there is no cure, this is going to take you, to feel that love and to know that people really do want to help and make an impact is one of the most warming, loving feelings that one can feel.
I love that. I get goosebumps even hearing you say this because it's true. I mean, the community, and again, that says something about your mom and the type of woman she was that can rally people together like that to come together and to make a difference on such a huge scale. So that's incredible. And so we keep talking about your mom, but there's just so many great things to talk about her. Another thing that I really love that stuck with me that you had said was that after your mom was diagnosed, you took a leave of absence from work, you took some time off, you came home and you were taking care of your mom. And I remember you saying it was the most difficult and most beautiful thing at the same time. So what did it mean to you to really have that time together with her?
It was the most incredible gift that I think we both could have given each other. I eventually ended up leaving my corporate job at Target to be home with her full time at the very end. Um, and it was, I think, the biggest honor and blessing that I could have given myself to have that precious time with her. But I know that it was also the best and biggest gift that I could have given her. I think that for the rest of my life, it'll be the hardest job that I ever had was taking care of her. And I say that because every single day she lost something. And every single day we were grieving something new that was gone. And, whether it was to begin with, like the inability to walk. What I think was hardest was her inability to talk because she was such a talker and she wanted you to know the world according to Paige. And when it became that she only had her Toby, her, computer, for those that know, that has lasers that read your eyes, yes, we could still communicate. It was just really hard and slow to do so. And she had a lot to say. But I'm kind of getting sidetracked and derailed, I realize. But while it was so hard and so emotional, it was also physical, helping transport and move her. It was the most special time of my life because we were able to say everything that we needed to say to each other and make plans for my future life when she was gone. And, the time that we had really was a blessing. My mom's parents were actually killed in an automobile accident and we lost them very suddenly. And so, my mom and I compared those losses to losing my mom. And my mom said, we can never say one is worse than the other. They're just super different. Yeah. But the difference in losing her to ALS was that we knew we had a finite amount of time. And so in that finite amount of time, we said every day, every hour, how much we loved each other. And that was just really warm. And I have carried that with me all of the days ever since.
I love that. I love that you guys could find a way to sort of make a really awful situation to see the best in that. And even just hearing you when we were talking on the phone, hearing you say that you sat down with your mom and you mapped out your future, what it was going to be like and what it was going to be like without her. Mm-hmm. Even now, this is it's starting again because I'm with you. My mom is my absolute best friend. And to think about having to plan a life or to live a life without her, I don't know how you guys do it.
And I had told my now ex-boyfriend, but my boyfriend at the time, like 6 months before my mom was diagnosed, he said, your mom really is your best friend. And I said, she is. I can never imagine a world without her. And so that was just such foreshadowing. Yeah. And I never thought that I could live without my mother. And here I am almost 4 years later. And I am able to say that I have survived and made it through. And I know that she's with me every single step of the way.
Absolutely. And actually, she is because you made her promise to give you some signs. And she has, right? So what are some of these signs that she's reminded you she's right there with you?
Oh, she's right there with me, indeed. The first sign was a week after she passed away. It was my dad's birthday. And so we had a very small gathering at the house with, dear family friends. And my dad started telling a story that sounded like it could quickly be inappropriate. And as we're all sitting in the living room, the lamp right next to my dad turned off. And so everyone in the room went silent. And my dad was like, this is so weird. And my mom's best friend, Kim McQueen, who's very involved with ALS, was like, that's Paige. She's here. She's with us. You better watch it, John. So he keeps telling his story. He keeps it PG. And as soon as the story ends, like literally the second he's done telling the story, the lamp turns back on. And I mean, I think my dad would probably say that, a lot of stuff that I do and believe in might be a little voodoo. This was like undeniable. he was like, "Yeah, you're right. This is mom. Mom is here with us." So that was her first sign.
Yeah.
And the second one was when I was in New Zealand. My memories or the pathway that I outlined with my mom prior to her dying was to travel the world. And so I was in New Zealand on the first leg of that world tour, and I opened up a letter that she wrote me a week before she died. This was a letter that she wrote out on her Toby. And I sat on a bench and I opened up this letter. And as you can imagine, the tears are just streaming down my face. And it was so powerful just hearing her words. And I knew I could feel her. It was almost like I felt her arms wrapped around me. And I looked up from reading the letter, and there was this incredible rainbow in front of me. Was like, oh my God, mom, you are powerful. Like, this is amazing. You promised me signs and you are delivering.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have many more examples to share, but I think those are probably two of my favorite.
Oh my God, I love this. And I can't wait. After this, I want to hear all these stories too, because you were even telling me sort of sometimes when you just maybe are lost on decision making or you need a little bit of help, you can reach out and she answers. I mean, she gives you those answers whether you want them or not.
That is so true. And sometimes the answers are, like kind of hit me right in the face. Like, okay, mom, you can back off a little bit. I get it. I understand the memo. But yes, I feel her with me every single day without a doubt. And so that helps with the missing her piece of it. No, she is not here physically. I cannot hug her. She can't wrap her arms around me, but I know she's here.
I know she is too. I love that. And I know that she would be so insanely proud of you because you really have continued to sort of carry her legacy on too. I just love these stories. I
Thank
love
you.
getting to meet all of you guys and hear all of these stories and the way you're keeping these memories alive. It gives me chills every time, every single time. And speaking of, because I'm getting myself off track. So speaking of promises, I mean, she kept her promise to come back and give you reminders that she's still there. But you also carried something on for her as well, right? When we had talked. So she had this amazing bucket list of all the places
Mhm,
she wanted to go. And then the theme of tonight, stinking ALS, took that from her.
mhm.
How did you make sure that your mom still made it to all of those beautiful destinations?
Yes. So one of the things we mapped out in our time together was that part of my healing journey once she passed was that I was going to travel the world and go to every place on her bucket list that she
Oh my
never made it
gosh.
to. What we did not speak about at the time, I chose to do this after she passed, was to spread her ashes in each one of those locations, which was absolutely incredible. I'm getting, yeah, really, really emotional thinking of it. But I know that she was absolutely tickled pink to go to some very far away places on this planet. And yeah, she was there.
She got to see it all. What are some of the places that you took your mom with you to?
So the first trip was Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji.
Oh,
And yeah, that was incredible. And then we did a European tour, and that was like Amsterdam, Lucerne, Paris. My mom and I had been to Paris together, like when I graduated college. So that was incredibly emotional for me. Where else? Barcelona, Mallorca, Nice. Um, there was a lot in Europe
um,
because she loved Europe.
okay.
And then Thailand and Bali was kind of my finale for the year before I got a job again. And last summer I was supposed to do South Africa and Botswana. So that's still on the list because COVID got in my way. So I'm not done yet. I still have ashes yet to spread. So I'm looking forward to doing that very soon.
Ah, This is so amazing. Oh, Julie, you are so right. They are an amazing family who have impacted the lives of so many individuals with ALS. And it's all in the name of Paige, helping her help others. And still to this day, even though, like you said, Paige's body is not here with us anymore, but she is still impacting people. She's still changing the lives, especially in our ALS community. I love this. And you too, Whitney. I mean, I can totally see where you get all your amazingness from, because if you are just as incredible as these stories you have been telling about your mom. So I am so excited that
Thank
you're
you, Susan.
keeping this going on. And speaking of, so Julie, that was Julie chiming in, our fearless leader of the Greater Chicago chapter of the ALS Association.
Love Julie. She's
She's
so amazing.
She's the best, seriously. So when you came to the ALS Association, you've been such a huge help, such an advocate for us, and getting some services brought to Champaign because of you and your mom and what you guys did. What has the ALS Association meant to you and your family?
I don't even really know where to begin. I was trying to think about how to put this really in words. What I would say is that the ALS Association is family to me and my family, because they were there for us through thick and thin on, the worst and the ugliest days, and also
Yeah.
on the better, happier days as well. And, whether it's Kendra's amazing energy around the walks and any fundraising events. I mean, Kendra's energy is just totally contagious. Or everything that Kelly was doing, with the care services, the support groups that we attended on a monthly basis just brought us, like, all being together just
Yeah.
made you feel like you weren't on an island, dealing with this devastating disease on your own. And
Yeah.
it was great to connect in those meetings with other ALS patients, and then other ALS patients, family members. Sometimes we would just get to giggling at those meetings, and it was like either inappropriate to be laughing, or we didn't even know what we were laughing about. Everybody just needed a laugh.
Yeah.
And yes, I think everything that the ALS Association, um, brought to us and means to me in my heart, just the one word I can think of is family. Like, we couldn't have gotten through the situation without them.
Okay. And you know what? I think they would say the exact same thing about you too, that you are absolutely family to this, that you are such a huge part of our family. And so speaking of these really tough moments, I mean, there are a lot of those. ALS is tough and it gives you a lot of tough moments. In those really hard moments, how did you how did you get through it? How did you find a way? Because you were such a happy, positive person, and your mom was such a happy, positive person. How did you keep that hope alive despite all of these really hard moments?
Well, not every moment was pretty, if I'm honest with you. We all had our moments, and I have my own amazing team of caregivers, multiple therapists that all do various different things for me. Um, and yeah, it was really going back to doing all of this in the name of love and the adoration that I have
Yeah.
for my mom. And I know that she would have done this for me if the roles were reversed, but I kept just every day knowing that this was the best gift that I could give my best friend and the person that I love more than anything in this world. So that's really what kept me going each and every day when it felt like a bit of a doom and gloom. But we did also have some fun along the ways too. Um, posting Paige and Whitney selfies every day, because we would kind of have an adventure and we'd be out on the town, whether that was like to the pumpkin patch or to the park with my dog or whatever it was. So
Mm.
we inserted fun and memories along the way, which I think really, really helped us.
I love that. You didn't waste a second. You didn't waste a second of the time that you had together.
No, we tried not to. We really
Yeah.
tried to make the most of every single day that we had.
And that's a beautiful life lesson too, for us to carry on, because life is short. We don't know what's going to happen. And I love that you got to have those moments with your mom. And speaking of moments, because there were so many great ones, but we got to talking too, because this is still walk season. So we do still have another walk coming up in Champaign, in your hometown, on the 25th. Your
That's right,
mom.
which is also her birthday, by the way.
Seriously?
Mhm. Yeah. Super special.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Happy birthday, Paige. Seriously. Oh, okay. Well, September 5th, an amazing day then, a super special day. We still have a walk coming up, but you guys have a walk team, and your mom
Mhm.
actually got to go to one of the walks in 2017. So what was that like to her? What did that mean to her?
It was incredible. It was kind of at that point, I think it was the third fundraising event that we had had for Paige's ALS challenge at that
Mm.
time. I remember that it was like 100 degrees outside. Kendra, you can fact check me again. Like we hadn't had heat like this in forever. Um, it was very, very warm, but people just came out of the woodworks again for that event. And yeah, it was really incredible.
I love that. And Sam put the link up in our comment section for your team page. So if anyone still wants to join, they absolutely can. Otherwise, if you want to join for next year, if you want to stay involved, if you want to read more about her story, click on that link because it'll give you the whole background of the Walk to Defeat ALS team page. I love that. It was on the hottest walk ever. I love this. I love that Kendra is behind the scenes fact checking everything.
Yes, thank you, Kendra. I appreciate the support.
I love it. That's how we do it. And before we Yeah, it was hot. I love how interactive everyone is being tonight, you guys. You guys are the best viewers ever. We are so lucky to have you. Thanks for being a part of this. And Winnie, I want to, since you are sort of the superstar of fundraising, event planning, auctions. So we have this, people heard me plug it earlier in the show tonight. We have this virtual silent auction coming up. And I hear you were a huge part in that too. So what keeps you coming back every year to want to keep helping the chapter and keep helping this portion of the fundraising with the virtual auction?
Yes. So I now live in San Francisco and I very much want to be a part of this. It's a little harder
Mhm.
for me to be executing things from a
Ooh,
team perspective all the way out here. But one way that I have found to contribute in a larger way is through the auction. So, along with all of my mom's amazing friends, who
love
we call
this.
them, if they're from her Bible study group, they're the Bible babes. If they're from her tennis group, they're the tennis babes. And so all of these incredible friends help pull together the auction items, and Kendra just works her magic to get them all up on the site. But that's um, the boys are watching too.
I
Oh,
love
thanks,
it.
Kendra. I
Aw.
would love for Tate to come back to Cali. He needs that jersey, Kendra. He needs that Warriors jersey, and you can hang it on his wall. Maybe that's like a joint birthday Christmas gift you can give him.
I
I'm
love this. So
totally
as
calling you out now.
I love it. I love call them all out, Whitney. So as Whitney's talking about this, actually, we what's on the screen right now is we're scrolling through the auction items that there's so many amazing auction items. So you guys get a little teaser right now as Whitney is telling you about this.
Yes. So the auction has just been a fun way for me to participate from afar.
I love it. And you guys, I don't know if you're checking this out, but these auction items are incredible. I was telling you, there's some really great gifts. Oh, do your Christmas shopping here. Seriously, do your Christmas shopping. There's amazing purses, amazing experiences, amazing baskets. There's some wine if you like wine. There's golf experiences. Check out all those purses, designer purses, all kinds
Yeah,
of
there's
really fun
something
things.
for the fashionista, the sports
Mhm.
fanatic, the person that likes wine. There's a little something for everyone.
Uh-oh, you've just started a bidding war here, I think, Whitney.
Oh, I like it. We like a bidding war when it goes to charity.
It's true. Tate and his best friend both want that jersey, so they're gonna have to duke it out for that. I love that. Hopefully, Tate will win, and then he'll get to come visit you in Cali in his jersey.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love this so much, and I love that you are still such a huge part of this and still helping us, even though you're in a different state. You are still helping the Chicago chapter, still doing your thing. I love that, and I love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. I know this has been such a blessing, and I feel like the way that the universe connects us and the way in which I've been able to
Mm,
connect with People's Association to ALS has
yeah.
been incredible. And so I add you to my list of incredible blessings, and it's because ALS brought us together.
It is so much of this. So much of
Hmm.
this headed in your direction. Yes,
Right
seriously.
back at you.
Oh, and to end this, I want to leave it with you telling us what is something that all of the viewers can do, myself included, to honor your mom.
I would say do something to help others. It's as simple as that, in
I
whatever
love it.
way, shape, or form that is, whether that's, taking someone to the park who wouldn't have a ride to the park on their own, or, making a meal for someone who
Yeah.
is either hungry or can't cook for themselves, whatever that may be, just help others.
I love it. I love it. So, in the name of that, I'm going to go out there and help some others. Thank you so much, Whitney. Thank you for sharing your mom's story and for continuing her legacy on and being just the superstar of a human being that you are.
Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm looking forward to connecting more.
We will be. We will be soon, my new BFF.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you
Have
for
a great
having me.
night. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.